So you know when you sit down and you do your top 5 of 2023 and you're really quite happy with that top 5 and you think, you know what, that's a solid top 5. But then you watch something that completely just throws you for a loop and you start rethinking the whole situation, the whole scenario, the whole list, breaking down the genres, breaking down the different things, the actors and all that kind of thing. And this movie just messes with your mind and throws that all out of whack. That is this movie. We are talking about the movie Kane. Yes, my name is Kevin Halden, this is Nerdly Out Loud, the official channel of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for all your news, reviews and exclusive interviews. I like to cover everything from the big budget, to the low budget, to the no budget. And this movie, although I don't think it's at the lowest end of the scale, definitely at a low end of the scale. It doesn't look low budget, but it is low budget, and it's a fantastic talky talk movie, like a dark noir kind of thriller, a little bit mind messy, and we're going to get into that in a quick hot second. But obviously please do all of those wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things that we always ask you to do, and that is to like, subscribe and ding that notification bell, because it does let people know who we are, what we do, get it spread about like shit in a field. But of course, if you don't want to do all that, just tell someone. Kane, directed by Blair. This is a director I don't know. I've not really seen anything else. Oh, I might have. I don't think I have, though. I feel like this is my first time checking out one of his movies. And boy, was I impressed. And I had to jump in this studio, in here, to talk to you guys, my friends. Yes, that's right. I call you my friends. I feel like we are there now. I feel like we can cement this relationship and say that, yes, we are friends.
In this business, he just did what was needed.
You looking at, dog?
You have to be a monster. This is Abe. Abe is a gangster.
Or a princess?
But the thing is, Abe suffers from multiple personalities.
Just got that tingly feeling. You see, we're all.
And I'm going to stick to my normal routine, and as you all know, if you have seen one of my reviews before, that is that I like to talk about the plot of the movie, I like to talk about the cast and the crew of the movie, then I like to get into what I did and did not like about this movie, then I will give you my Nerdly Out Loud rating, which is my rating, not the rating of Nerdly on the whole. But of course, please do go over to the website, check out all the reviews from all those wonderful guys over there, usually just me and Phil, but check them out. We've got some great stuff on there, hundreds and hundreds of reviews of movies upon movies upon movies. And so the movie Kane, yes, we meet a guy called Benny. Benny is at a police station, he's kind of being interrogated, kind of telling the story about his mob boss, Abe. So he is going to be spending the next 24 hours with Abe, where Abe is going to kind of do this deal with a guy called Frankie, and he needs Benny to be his driver, get him there, get him home, all that good stuff, all that shenanigans. And of course he's going to tell us this story of that day as it unfolds. What we soon find out during us being told is that Abe is not only a unhinged mob boss, he also has got split personalities. Happy days. I mean, that's what you want to be when you're a mob boss. You want to be unhinged and psychopathic and have split personalities. Not saying they're all psychopathic, just saying. Anyway, let's move on from that before I get cancelled. He has 3 different personalities that we know of. We have got Abe, we have got Kane, the titular Kane, and Kane is kind of like, whereas Abe is the mob boss, the crime lord, the head of the family, Kane is the muscle, he's the assassin, he's the hitman, the killer, the real psychopath of the family. And we also have Richard, who's the money man slash lawyer slash all that good stuff. He's going to be there to protect the family, protect the money. But what's going on is we soon find out there is a little bit of a power struggle, because for whatever reason, Abe does not seem to be taking his meds. Now this is something we are not explicitly told, but it is hinted at, and we are shown a few things. So it looks like he's off his meds. So what we know now is that there's going to be some sort of inner battle between the 3 personalities. somebody's got to win, right? Somebody's got to win. And it just so happens to be on a day when he's doing this huge deal with a guy named Frankie, who's also a bit of a psychopath. They're going to play a deadly game of chess. That was Crimson Tide, wasn't it? No, not Crimson Tide, that was Gene Hack. Hunt for Red October. Connery says that, doesn't he, when he's like the Russian sub-commander? Have you ever played a deadly game of chess? Or am I just totally making that up? I feel like I might actually be making that up. So yeah, it does become a tale of what is going to happen during the deal. Abe has sent Kane out to kill Richard. Yes, Abe, the main guy, has sent his split personality, Kane, away to kill his other split personality, Richard. It makes sense when you watch it. It really does. So we might as well get into the cast and the crew, because I don't really want to talk too much about the plot, too much more about the plot, because anymore I'm probably going to start giving like huge spoilers away. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the cast and the crew, and we will start with Benny, the man who's going to be narrating this story, taking us through this tale and letting us know what is going on. Clayton Watson plays the role brilliantly. Doesn't have an awful lot to do in terms of what some of the other actors are doing, but he is a strong part of this movie, and he is our narrator giving us this story. I did like Clayton Watson. I can't say that I've seen him in anything else, but he does look like one of those guys you've probably seen in loads of other things. So, solid performance, solid performance. But I'm about to talk about 3 other performances that kind of just... It's hard to really notice anyone else when these 3 guys are on the screen. And that's when we talk about our different personalities. And you will notice that I have said there are 3 personalities, and I have said there are 3 people on the screen. That's right, we have got 3 different actors playing the 3 different personalities. Something I personally don't think I've ever seen. I don't count Fight Club, because Fight Club is his imaginary friend, it's not his split personality. Normally when it's your split personality, you are playing the same guys playing the different roles. You know, think James McAvoy in Split. But here, we've got 3 different guys playing 3 different personalities for the same guy. So Jeremy Lindsey Taylor plays Abe. Abe is the guy we're going to spend the most time with. Abe is the guy who's going to be doing most of the talking, most of the propelling of the movie. Of course, he's having this deal with Frankie. And I think Jeremy Lindsey Taylor does a fantastic job, because the other 2 guys, the other 2 personalities, we kind of know that that's them. Abe, it sort of consciously knows who he is as well, and he plays that a little bit conflicted in a way that I don't think the other 2 guys really need to, which is really cool, because obviously Abe is our main guy. It also helps that he has this old-timey, old-worldy kind of Hollywood golden age actor vibe. He looks the shit, and he delivers all of his lines, all of his dialogue, even some of the stuff that sounds a little bit hokey, a little bit kooky, he delivers with just gravitas. I don't know if Jeremy Lindsey Taylor spent some time treading the boards before hitting the movie world, but it kind of feels like he has that kind of, you know, aura. I was a big fan of the Abe character, big fan of this actor. Martin Dingle-Wall plays Richard's the one we see a little bit less of in the movie. We don't see as much of him as we do see of Abe and Kane, but we do see some of him, and he is pretty slick, looks the part, plays it well, and you really do get a sense that while he's playing a different personality, he does have some of Abe's characteristics, which you can kind of see in a couple of mannerisms. It's very nuanced, it's very subtle, but again, really liked it. Doesn't have a great deal to say or do, but the stuff he is doing and saying, I was buying, so that's that. And now to the titular Kane, Jake Ryan. When I talk about like the Hollywood actor, leading man, kind of all this kind of thing, Jake Ryan smashes that out the park. This guy looks the balls. He's big, he's brooding, he doesn't say a great deal, but then again, that's the character. He doesn't have to say a great deal. We don't really want to see him say a great deal. He's the strong, silent, psychopathic killer within our 3 guys. He's the one that you kind of feel like, yeah, you don't want to mess with this guy. The other 2, you could probably get away with it. Not so much Abe, but you could probably get away with it a little bit, but not Kane. Kane is the nuts. I love this character, But that actor, Jake Ryan, kills it. He's just brilliant. And then my boy Frankie, it's Nathan Phillips. Again, another actor that I'm not familiar with. And that's on me if I don't know who these guys are, but that's what I love about watching the movies that I watch, the more low budget stuff, the more not as big release stuff, because I get to see performances that, you know, they've got time to breathe. They've got really nothing to lose in terms of performances and giving bad performances, good performances, and you tend to find that they give great performances. Nathan Phillips as Frankie is a nut job, and I loved Nathan Phillips in this role. This is a great character, and to think that all of his scenes are played against Abe, and of course they are playing chess for the most part, and it works. It actually works. You're wondering, what are we doing here in this moment with these gangsters? But you know what, man? It completely works. So Nathan Phillips as Frankie, you're a scene-stealing son of a bitch, and I loved it. So when it comes to things I did and didn't like, I'm not going to lie, there's not a lot I didn't like about this movie. It is a tad confusing towards the start when you have the 3 different personalities, but you're seeing the 3 different storylines going on, and it's like, okay, if this is a split personality, how the hell are we doing this? But then when you break it down in your own head, and you're sort of like, well, actually, Benny's telling you the story, and he's kind of just going off what Abe's probably told him, and how those different characters work. So that's totally cool. You get along with it in the end. It was just a tad confusing at the start, but once you really sink into it, and anyway, the dialogue's going to wash all over you anyway, because there is some great dialogue, which is Blair Moore, writer, director. He has just written some truly wonderful sort of, you think of Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and I am not saying when we're at that level of that conversation or those performances, but the writing of this movie, the dialogue of this movie, the way it's set, the way it's played out, you could make that comparison. That's how good this writing is. Yes, there's some janky stuff in there, but this writing's so good, and you're dealing with all this twisty, turny, mind-meldy kind of stuff that you have to keep consistent and stick to your own rules, and when you can do that, I'm there for it. 100% there for it. And again, it's not the biggest budget movie. I suspect it's not the biggest budget movie ever, but you can't tell because the cinematography is just nice. Like, the darks are dark, the lights are light. Every now and then you get some super broody kind of music over the top, which is just brilliant. Accentuates the visuals, accentuates the acting. Everything, for me, just kind of works in tandem together, and that's a sign of a great movie. That's a sign of something that I would absolutely endorse that you go out and see. And with that, I might as well just jump into my final rating, and I always say this is just my rating, not the rating of Nerdly on the whole, because there's a whole slew of guys over there that do their reviews and whatnot, but I am actually going to put this down as a nerdly rating, 100%, because this movie for me, it's a 5 out of 5. It's an absolute unsung gem. It's one of these movies that I don't think everyone's going to get to see, or I don't think is going to be pushed into people's faces, but absolutely deserves to be. People need to really check this film out, and that's the thing. You've got to be checking out more than what's just at the cinema, because what's at the cinema isn't a fair representation of what's out there. We have got some fantastic independent low budget movies kicking around these days. I try and review as many of them as I can see. You know, they come across my table, I watch them, I love them, let's talk about them. If I hate them, I am also going to talk about them. Seem to be loving more than I hate right now, but that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. So yeah, total tangent, very sorry about that. This movie for me, it's a 5 out of 5. I think Blair Moore as a director, I don't know what else he's made. I don't know what he's got coming up. I will 100% be checking anything he does. I'll be checking it out. I want to see this director. I want to see his writing. I want to see him just flourish and do more. Use these actors again. Jake Ryan especially. Give us a Kane 2. Like, if we can get a Kane 2 and just deal with that guy's story, I'm cool with that. I mean, obviously, still have to be a split personality and have all the other stuff going on. But yeah, I'm babbling now. I'm basically trying to pitch a sequel to the director of this movie. That's terrible. You should never do that. Anyway, 5 out of 5 from me. This has been Nerdly Out Loud, nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home full of your news, reviews and exclusive interviews. Please come back. We'll have more reviews, more interviews, all that good stuff. I will be coming back for some more. Please come back with me. And remember, if you can't hit that like, hit that subscribe, ding that bell, if you can't bring yourself to do that, tell the guy next to you they should. And that way, we'll get bumped up the algorithm, we'll start winning this whole YouTube thing, and we can just carry on doing what we do.